International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL and Agricultural Development Bank.
Coming up on International Trade Focus, we shall take a look at trade relations between Ghana and the United Kingdom. And later, Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Alan Kyerematen, undertakes an industrial tour of some projects in Tema. Ghana and the UK have enjoyed strong economic ties for the longest time. The UK has signed a new trade partnership agreement with Ghana. Trading under the AfCFTA has commenced. Now, will this have an impact on Ghana-UK trade relations? That's what we'll be taking a look at on today's edition of International Trade Focus. International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL, Good Energy, ADB, Truly Agric and more, and Peduase Valley Resorts. Public Elegance provided me with this lovely outfit. My name is Anna Spio and this is International Trade Focus.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Are you an importer or exporter? Do you need quick financing at the best rate on the market? ADB has good news for you. Walk into any agricultural development bank location nationwide for that solution to all your trade financing needs. ADB offers you pre-financing of exports and imports, post-shipment credit facilities, bank guarantees, the issuance and acceptance of letters of credit, documentary bills for collection, outward documentary collection. Enjoy free advisory services from our well-trained, dedicated trade officers. Exporters of agricultural products are encouraged to take advantage of this great service. For further enquiries, call us on 0302 210 210. ADB, making trade finance easy. ADB, Truly Agric and more.
Breathtaking picturesque views, the essence of tranquility recrafted. What's your desire? A romantic expedition, syndicate sessions, banquet and conferences, or a discreet weekend getaway? Just name it. It's exclusively packaged for you at Peduase Valley Resort. Every spacious rooms, ultra-modern gym facilities, games, indoors, terrace and lawn restaurants and lounges, cozy private dining, and all the swimmer's paradise. Aquaba, any day, all year round to Peduase Valley Resort. The acts of serenity, skillfully served.
Our focal point segment comes up next. For decades, Ghana and the United Kingdom, UK,
have enjoyed diplomatic relations of mutual benefit. The two Commonwealth nations have a long-standing history of trade and development for over a century. Trade relations in recent times have been to foster mutual partnership and cooperation as Commonwealth nations. The UK depends on Ghana for its crude oil and agricultural commodities, and Ghana relies on the UK for processed goods like textile fibers, pharmaceuticals, and industrial chemicals. Trade between the two nations was almost £1 billion, equivalent to over $1.2 billion in 2020. This partnership has been crucial to Ghana's development and foreign exchange earnings. Earlier this year, the two countries signed an interim trade agreement worth $1.6 billion aimed at deepening bilateral trade post-Brexit. This agreement also restores duty-free and quota-free access to the UK markets. On our focal point segments today, we want to examine the performance of trade between the two Commonwealth nations, Ghana and the United Kingdom. Historically, trade between the two countries in the past decade has fluctuated between £1 billion and £1.9 billion. Ghana's exports to the UK in the past 25 years have been fluctuating between $100 million and $600 million, according to data from the United Nations Comtrade database, with the highest recorded in 1995 and the lowest in 2016. Britain exports clothing and textiles, machinery and mechanical appliances, as well as chemical products to Ghana, while importing crude oil, fish preparations, agricultural products from Ghana. According to the UK's Office of National Statistics, the top 5 goods exported from the UK to Ghana in 2016 were £66.7 million of textile fibers, £18 million refined oil, £16.8 million of medical and pharmaceutical products, £16.6 million in toilet and cleaning preparations, and £14.9 million of general industrial machinery. The same data suggests that top exports from Ghana to the UK was £49.7 million in crude oil, £49.3 million in coffee, tea and cocoa, £46.2 million of vegetables and fruit, £42.9 million worth of fish and shellfish, and £4.8 million of specialized machinery. In 2019, UK was ranked the 8th largest export destination for Ghanaian goods and services, but was ranked the 3rd source of imports to Ghana. The Minister of Trade and Industry, Honourable Alain Kyerematen, underscores the importance of the UK market in his parliamentary vetting earlier this year.
It became necessary for Ghana to negotiate a new agreement with the UK. Now, under normal circumstances, this ought not to have been a contentious one regarding the long-standing bonds of friendship between Ghana and the UK. So we started technical consultations in March 2018, hoping that we could come to an agreement before the exit date of the UK from the EU. So when I escalated the negotiations to the level of my counterpart, the Right Honourable Liz Truss, in December, the last week of December, she graciously agreed that as an exception to their principle of continuity, they would accept our position to use the text of the Regional Economic Partnership Agreement as the basis for the new bilateral Ghana-UK agreement.
According to UK government statistics, the UK's market share in Ghana was about 3.3% in 2020, while the Ghanaian exports market share in the UK is 0.1%. As at the third quarter of 2020, Total Ghanaian exports to the UK were £363 million, decreasing by 25.5% or £124 million compared to the same period in 2019. Out of the total exports to the UK, about £218 million or 60.1% were goods and £145 million or 39.9% were services. Stating official sources, the UK government sources the United Kingdom in an important export market and of benefits to consumers through lower prices. In 2019, the United Kingdom's market accounted for around 39% of Ghana's exports of tinned tuna and 21% of Ghana's exports of bananas. However, Ghana has always recorded the trade deficit with the UK in 2017 was about £272 million compared to £151 million in 2019. The UK has benefited from a trade surplus with Ghana. This is why the establishment of the UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce at this time is relevant to the future of the bilateral trade between Ghana and the UK. This gives industries in both countries the needed advantage to enter the mutual markets created. The total outflow of foreign direct investment from the UK to Ghana in 2019 was £204 million compared to the FDI from Ghana to the UK, which is about £1 million. There's a potential market for Ghanaian industries trying to venture into the UK markets. However, the issue of standards remains key in accessing the UK markets. Companies like Blue Skies and Golden Exotica are successful brands paving the way for Ghanaian exports and businesses. Many others are following suit through the UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce.
Ajoba Chiama is the Executive Director of the UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce. She joins us on our in-depth segment this week. You're watching International Trade Focus, and this is our in-depth segment. We're going to take a look at Ghana-UK trade relations. Now, a new Ghana-UK trade partnership agreement has been signed. What does that mean for the country? We'll also take a look at the African Continental Free Trade Area and its impacts on trade relations between Ghana and the UK. Today's interview is coming to you from the beautiful presidential suites of Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. Now, come to Movenpick for all your conferences, weekend getaway. They have a lovely kitchen for the buffet and everything that you want. So come to this place and you will not regret it. To join me in the discussion is Ajoba Chiama. She's the Executive Director of the UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce. This place is beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's beautiful. Yes. It's very luxurious.
Yeah, it is indeed. So tell us about the UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, your operations and your activities.
The UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, as the name suggests, is a member-based trade association. So we have member companies both from Ghana and from the UK. Some UK companies are residents here, some are non-residents, and even some of the Ghanaian member companies are not necessarily businesses that do business with the UK. But because we exist to promote bilateral trade through the three platforms of networking, advocacy, and trade services, they find merit in being a part of our chamber, and I believe that they also find value, you know. So we're growing every day. Every day we are getting companies reaching out to join us, and I believe that since the past year, in these times of a global pandemic, having moved our activities onto a virtual platform, we found a greater audience and also attracted more members to our chamber. So that's it for us.
On the 2nd of March 2021, the UK signed a trade partnership agreement with Ghana, and the agreement secures tariff-free trade and provides a platform for greater economic and cultural cooperation. So why was it necessary for the UK to sign another trade partnership deal with Ghana?
I'm sure the whole world is aware that the UK broke away from the EU. And Ghana used to trade with the UK under the same economic partnership agreement that it had with the EU, because at the time the UK was part of the EU. And when Brexit came into effect, interim arrangements were made for a year to continue trading under the same terms as with the EU. And that interim period came to an end on 31st December 2020. And therefore, it was necessary that Ghana entered into an agreement specifically with the UK, because businesses that had been operating under the EPA, the EU EPA previously, would then be losing the concessions that they had been benefiting from. And needless to say, it would have been a disincentive for them to continue trading with the UK. And that's why it was a very necessary thing. Now, for Ghanaian businesses, and specifically for our member businesses who, or which are companies that I can speak for because I know what they do, a large part of their business involved exports to the UK. And the reason why their businesses remained profitable was because they were benefiting from these tariff-free exports to the UK. And having to pay tariffs would mean that the cost of exporting to the UK would be too expensive for them, and any margins, which really were already very small, would have been completely eroded. And so this is why there was a lot of anxiety about a delay, you know, because it would have meant that their businesses were not profitable and therefore they would have to shut down and send all their employees home. And we all know the implications of that, because when businesses exist, they contribute to the economy from the taxes that they pay, they employ people, they pay suppliers, and therefore the economy grows.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the criteria that was agreed upon and its relevance to this bilateral trade.
Right. It secures tariff-free exports for some Ghanaian companies that export to the UK. Typical examples would be the fruit exporters, so pineapple, banana, and canned tuna. As I've mentioned before, those are the member companies I have in my chamber, so I can speak on their behalf. On the other side, for UK companies doing business with Ghana under the agreement, it would secure preferential tariff reductions for UK exports to Ghana. So that's why this agreement, like I said, was quite important.
One of the key concerns that was responsible for the stalling of the agreement, we are aware, is ECOWAS customs and the UK's principle of continuity. So why do you think these concerns were raised?
You know, no country really is an island that exists on its own and can do whatever it likes, you know, without concern to its neighbors. And given that we are part of ECOWAS and have always played an active role in the continued existence of ECOWAS and peaceable coexistence with our neighbors in ECOWAS, it's very important that whatever we do, be it on a global scale, still conforms with whatever existing trade agreements that we have that apply to us, even though they may not necessarily be directly related to any other transactions that we are engaging in as a sovereign state. And so it's important that if there are existing trade agreements, let's say between the AU and the EU, which the UK used to be a part of, or there's an existing agreement between ECOWAS and the EU, similar terms are applied two agreements between individual countries in the ECOWAS or in AU to those coming agreements. And this enables consistency. You know, business thrives on consistency. You can't plan, you can't budget, you can't ensure that your business achieves the objectives for which you've set it if you don't have a clear view on some of the fundamental things that are necessary for the sustenance of your business. And therefore, it was critical that all those existing or these agreements that run concurrently are all aligned, you know, and when governments engage, of course, it's supposed to be for the benefit of the people of their nation, and therefore they would try and ensure that there's consistency and there's mutual benefit.
Right, so let's take a look at this trade deal and its relevance to the country. So with the current state of our export sector, do you think that we can harness the full benefits of this trade agreement?
Yes, there's so many opportunities that we can take advantage of to grow our exports, you know, and particularly in terms of manufacturing, you know, or exporting manufactured goods. I think the critical thing for manufacturers in Ghana is to be compliant with our local standards, which are benchmarked against international standards, because there's so many times that we would hear in the news that exports from Ghana have been rejected or have been suspended for particular economic sectors or something. And it's not so much because the receiving countries do not need the items that we're exporting, or they do not find merit in buying from Ghana and rather go somewhere else. It's because sometimes we are a bit laid back about the quality of the goods that we export. So you will find that the successful exporters from Ghana are the ones that are very compliant, you know, and will do things in a structured manner and make sure that they're law abiding, you know, because we actually do have the rules and regulations that guide these things. And like I said before, we are benchmarked against international standards, you know. So you would find that HACCP, for example, ISO standards are things that are consistent throughout the world, you know. And if a business is set up and is law abiding and is registered with the Ghana Standards Authority, is registered with the Food and Drugs Authority, if need be, what would then happen is that if they're exporting, they would have no problems whatsoever. So these are the things that I believe for our exporters, if they took into considerations and did what is right, you know, and ensure that the quality of their products are of international standard and meets the receiving country's standards, I think that we will see a growth in exports from Ghana.
Right. So you mentioned institutions such as the Ghana Standards Authority. Into detail, what level of cooperation do you think that we'll need from them, exporters aside, Ghana Standards Authority, and then Food and Drugs Authority aside? What level of cooperation? How can they ensure that indeed we meet international standards?
One of the things I always preach is that if you know what the right thing to do is, then just do it, you know. So I believe that there are rules that guide the establishment of whatever business entity. So depending upon what economic sector that you are in, you know, there's a checklist that you need to go through. So if, whether it's a factory or whatever that you are setting up or you're producing, whether it's even agricultural produce, you know, there would be your district assembly or your municipal assembly or metropolitan assembly that would have various departments, and there are representatives from all these regulatory authorities that are present there, like the Environmental Protection Agency, there's Food and Drugs Authority, like I mentioned before, there's Ghana Standards Authority, Ghana Revenue. Everybody that needs to regulate your business would be physically present. And therefore, it behoves upon us as individuals to do the necessary due diligence, to identify what needs to be done and ensure that you do what needs to be done. And then it also behoves upon these regulatory agencies to do the necessary environmental scanning to see what is happening, you know, and to do the necessary spot checks to ensure that there's compliance, that's one. And then where there's even compliance, to do the spot checks, to do the audits, to ensure that follow-throughs are happening. Because in terms of these certifications, you don't just go at the start and then you get it and then that is it forever, you know. There's annual renewals in certain instances, and therefore you have to make sure that you do these annual renewals, and the relevant authorities also come in to do the inspections or audits or whatever is required to ensure that when they are certifying these things, they are true and audited or confirmed, you know, certifications that are being issued.
Okay. So in terms of trade volumes, what has been the trend currently? What's the trend, or what are the figures as far as Ghana-UK trade is concerned?
By the end of 2020, I believe that the volume of trade to the UK from Ghana, both ways was just under £1 billion sterling. Total exports from the UK to Ghana would be about £635 million, and from Ghana to the UK would be about £363 million. Yes.
So there's a deficit there.
Yes, right. This is why we need to encourage more businesses from Ghana to trade with the UK.
Okay, so currently we are entreating that we add value to our products before we export, and so on and so forth. So looking at the volume of trade, what we export to the UK currently, do you see a trend where we are exporting things that or products that we've added value to, or is still the same old traditional products that we are exporting?
You know, I think over the years, I'm not sure how many years now, but it would probably be maybe a couple of decades or more. One of the things that we've done as a country is to promote a growth in non-traditional exports. So you're aware that we have the Export Promotion Authority, and we have the Ghana Exim Bank, you know, and so we actually do see a growth, you know. And I like I said before, I think that where we've had challenges is perhaps the small-scale exporters who may not necessarily be compliant with all the requirements. But in our chamber, for example, two of the largest exporters of agricultural products from Ghana are our members, Blue Skies and Golden Exotics, you know, and one of their biggest markets is the UK. And Blue Skies is exporting cut fruits, they're exporting juice, they're exporting non-dairy ice cream produced in Ghana here. And I'm not sure how old the company is, but they've been here for a while, you know, and been growing, you know, since they were first established. And Golden Exotics is exporting bananas and pineapples from Ghana. And so we see that it's possible to do it on a commercial scale, you know. We would like to see our farmers scaling up and producing crops on a commercial scale, you know, not just for the local market, but for the African sub-region, and then further afield to Europe and elsewhere, you know. And one of the things that we would like to see is more support from the government of Ghana in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of financing, in terms of capacity building with regards to quality standards that we've spoken at length about, you know, that if businesses got more support in that area, you know, we would see our exports growing in leaps and bounds. And I mean, with the coming into force of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, for example, we are confident of seeing a growth in our manufacturing sectors, because of course the rules of origin would apply, and so you can't just go and buy things from somewhere and then bring it here and say you're selling it across Africa. It's not the intent of that agreement, So we are hopeful or optimistic of seeing further growth in our manufacturing base, where we are manufacturing more because we have the markets to buy our output.
So we'll come to the African Continental Free Trade, but before that, how can the average Ghanaian business know about some of these things? Because you sometimes talk to them and they'll say, oh, we don't even have the information, blah, blah, blah. So how can they know about some of these opportunities that are out there? Here is a UK-Ghana trade deal that is tariff-free. This is a huge opportunity to the manufacturer here in the country. So how can we do better to disseminate information so that a lot of people will be privy to information like this?
It's a wonderful thing that we are doing today, talking about it. So the media has a role to play in it. And we're grateful for the opportunity also to talk about what we do at the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce, because we, like I said, we provide trade services, and so we encourage Ghanaian businesses that are looking to do business in Ghana, that are looking for advice, are looking for opportunities. We encourage them to reach out to us. That's what we are here for, to encourage bilateral trade between the UK and Ghana. And we also say the same thing when we engage with UK audiences, that if you want to do business in Ghana, here are the business opportunities. Reach out to us. We have a website that has our contact details, www.ukgcc.com.gh. You'd find our contact information there, or you may find links to relevant websites that you need to go to, and we can help you and guide you as to what to do or what you need to know. We are in partners to other agencies or institutions that do similar work. We are not competitors, so we engage with like the Association of Ghana Industries, we engage with the Ministry of Trade, any government agency or any other trade grouping, we're on cordial terms with all the other bilateral chambers, and we refer business to each other. So we are here to help, essentially. I said we undertake advocacy. It's to enable, promote an enabling business environment for business, because once business grows, the economy also grows, and we all benefit as individuals, So yes, one of the ways in which people can get to know a lot more about this is to engage with us at the chamber. And we encourage the media also to do a lot more publicity around some of these issues.
You're watching International Trade Figures. We're taking a look at UK-Ghana trade relations. We'll be right back.
Breathtaking picturesque views, the essence of tranquility recrafted. What's your desire? A romantic expedition, syndicate sessions, banquet and conferences, or a discreet weekend getaway? Just name it. It's exclusively packaged for you at Peduasi Valley Resort. Every spacious rooms, ultra-modern gym facilities, games, indoors, terrace and lawn restaurants and lounges, cozy private dining, and all the swimmer's paradise. Aquaba, any day, all year round to Peduasi Valley Resort. The acts of serenity, skillfully served.
A warm welcome back. My guest for today is Adwoba Chama. She's the Executive Director of the Ghana UK Chamber of Commerce. We're taking a look at UK-Ghana trade relations and the new UK-Ghana Trade Partnership Agreement and the Continental Free Trade and its impact on trade relations between the Ghana and the UK. Sometimes, even locally here in Ghana, we have a perception that goods that are produced here are inferior. We prefer foreign products to what we have. So from where you sit as the Executive Director of the UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, do you find that products that are exported from Ghana have international recognition or it appeals internationally?
I believe so. As I've mentioned, we have several member companies that export, and I've mentioned Blue Skies, I've mentioned Golden Exotics. We have Cosmo Seafoods that exports canned tuna to the UK and to other markets. And of course, if they did not measure up, nobody would buy their products, you know. Cosmo Seafoods is producing canned tuna not under their own label, so you might find their canned tuna in supermarkets in the UK and not even realize unless you read the label that is made in Ghana, because it will be the shop's own brand, you know. And I personally am excited every time I walk into a shop in the UK and I find something that's made in Ghana. So there's companies that are doing it, you know, and have blazed a path that I believe others can do it. Sometimes when we have conversations like this, the question then that is asked is that, but these companies that you are mentioning are multinationals. But we have a member company that is not a large multinational, Rebirth Hygienic, that is producing shito and is exporting it to the UK. I believe their brand is called Goodies. So you may have seen it on the shelves in the supermarkets. And it's doing well in the UK, you know. So it's not the sole preserve of multinationals, you know. We need to encourage local businesses, like I've mentioned, that if you pay attention to detail and ensure that you're compliant even with local standards, you know, your products will do well wherever in the world that you send them to, you know.
And I believe we need to gain the confidence too. The confidence is key, because we usually feel like, hey, if we are producing it from Ghana, will it have international appeal and stuff like that? So like you're saying, there are pay sitters who are doing well. So.
But I also believe that as a people, we actually do see value in locally manufactured products, you know, because when you produce something that is good, it's patronized locally. I mean, there are some manufacturing companies that produce in Ghana, and everything that they produce sells in Ghana. We buy them, you know, and it's because they're of good quality. We would say in P at the part they turn, you know. So let's continue harping on the issue of meeting standards that are without doubt that these are really high standards, you know. And the only way we can do that is to be sure that everybody is doing what is right and is compliant with our laws and our regulations, and we are paying attention to detail, and there is no question about the quality of the product that you're producing. Yeah.
So let's talk about the African Continental Free Trade markets. From the 1st of January 2021, trading under the African Continental Free Trade area commenced. What do you think a deal like this, what impacts do you think a deal like this has on the Ghana-UK trade relations? First of all, will it even have an impact on our trade relations?
Yes, it does. It is, I think, a wonderful opportunity for UK-Ghana trade relations, because we've had long-standing relations based on exchange of goods and services, exchange of expertise, you know, and things like that. In Ghana, we actually have even manufacturing companies locally that are subsidiaries of UK holding companies, like Unilever Ghana. We have Guinness Ghana Breweries Limited, two examples that are members of our chamber. and they produce locally, and some of the brands that they produce are actually international brands. So here is a wonderful opportunity to export across Africa under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And what it does is set an example for other businesses. You may want to forge the hard path of starting from a zero base, and introducing a brand that you need to create awareness about and export it to the African market. You would perhaps need equipment from the UK. You could perhaps need capacity building from the UK. So it presents a wonderful opportunity for UK equipment manufacturers and technical experts, you know, to provide support to Ghanaian businesses. But you could also take the easy route and say that, listen, the UK brands that are doing well here and are doing well across Africa, so why don't I find manufacturers of these brands, forge a partnership, and get the license to manufacture these same brands locally at the exact same standard as they would be produced in the UK. And voila, you have a market that's ready for the product. You don't have to do too much marketing to create brand awareness, you know. So they're exciting prospects, yes.
Right, so you've mentioned members. I mean, Blue Skies is a member and all of that. So how does one sign on to? How does one become a member?
Yeah. So long as you're a legitimate business, right, and you're legally established business and you're compliant, you know, because we would typically ask you to complete a membership form, which you can find on our website, and you have to submit that membership registration form together with your incorporation documents and your tax clearance certificate from the Ghana Revenue Authority, or if you're a non-resident business from wherever you're operating from, to ensure that, or to demonstrate that you're a legitimate business. We are happy to welcome you into our chamber. I mean, we do business, we promote business, ethical business, compliant business, you know. We take the best of Ghana and British hospitality and ethical way of doing business to promote bilateral trade between the UK and Ghana. So that's what we stand for. And so we would like to attract businesses who have the same values to join us, yes.
So if somebody, or if a business signs on, what are some of the things that you do for them? Basically, what are the benefits that
we operate on the 3 platforms of networking, advocacy, and trade services. And when we talk about networking, we network amongst ourselves as members of the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce, but we also network with key stakeholders. So our key stakeholders would be the UK government, represented by the British High Commission in Ghana, and also the Ghana government, represented by the various ministries, departments, and agencies that are relevant to our member businesses and their business objectives. We also engage with the media, such as yourself, such as the general public. So we host several events throughout the year to ensure that this happens. And events of the most recent past and currently mean that a lot of it is done virtually, but it's still happening. And if you follow us on social media, you'll see how active we are. When it comes to advocacy, we have undertaken a number of publications based upon research that we do amongst businesses in Ghana. So in 2019, we introduced our annual business climate survey to assess what challenges businesses are facing, what is working well for them in terms of support from government, financing, infrastructure, and what kind of services they would like to see, what kind of recommendations they would like to make for improvements in their business environment. And the reports that emanate from these surveys, we actually do share with both the UK government and the Ghana government, because of course, our chamber represents UK businesses in Ghana, so it's of interest to the UK government. When the global pandemic was declared in March last year, we immediately rolled out a COVID-19 business impact survey. And in May, we did a follow-up survey to see whether anything had changed. And reports were issued out of that as well, which we did share with the both governments.
Briefly, can you touch on some of the findings of this research? Briefly.
So, you know, with the initial survey, of course, most businesses were caught off guard, you know. The findings were, okay, so immediately some knew what to do, so they rolled out their business continuity plans. And of course, these would be the larger businesses, sometimes who have a global footprint and have encountered such situations with SARS and things like that, and so immediately knew what to do. And then there were also the smaller business, the medium-sized businesses who were caught off guard and immediately had to sort of shut their doors, and some had to even lay off their workers and suspend business operations. And then there was lockdown, and then some people had capacity because they had already invested in the digital infrastructure to prepare, not knowing that this was going to happen, but they were ready to work in virtual environments, as in they immediately rolled out remote working procedures. The lessons we learned from that first survey informed what the chamber did as next steps. And I believe that we had first mover advantage because we are part of the global network of British Chambers of Commerce. So we had seen what had happened in the Far East because they were ahead of the curve, you know. So our affiliates, the UK China Business Chamber, the chambers in Hong Kong, Singapore and co, you know, had rolled out virtual activities. So we were ready to roll out, and from the outcome of the surveys, we realized that businesses who didn't know what to do did not know where to go to for support, you know. So we partnered with the bigger and more resilient member companies to roll out capacity building webinars to help businesses who were not prepared to overcome the immediate impacts of COVID. So we had things like how to manage employment contracts in times of crisis, which was our most heavily subscribed webinar last year. You know, it's like people didn't even want it to end because they had so many questions. What do I do with my workers? Do I still have to continue paying them a salary when I'm not making money? And things like that. You know, we had managing your tax obligations in a time of crisis. There was a lot of interest in that. And all these resources, we record them and they're still online. So if anybody is interested, they can actually follow us on social media, on YouTube and on LinkedIn and all the other social media platforms, and they will get these resources, and also on our website. You know, we had webinars with some of our affiliates, chambers in the British network, British Chambers of Commerce Network. So we had one on the African Continental Free Trade Agreement in partnership with the British Chambers of Southern Africa, which was also heavily subscribed because we had the trade advisor to the government of Ghana on it, who is very knowledgeable, you know, and had a lot to share. We had one with the chamber, the British Chamber in Cambodia, on the hospitality sector and the challenges they were facing, and to sort of come up with some ideas on how to overcome some of these challenges. And then when we had the follow-up survey, what we discovered is that businesses had time to adjust, you know. So some of the responses actually did show that for some businesses, it was actually not a bad thing. You know, 2020 was a better year for them, you know. But for some economic sectors like hospitality, tourism, travel, we have a travel agency member that has still not recovered. You know, it was so, you could actually tell that in that second report that some businesses had sort of pivoted and were sort of stabilizing and were returning to work. And for those that were struggling and were asking for support, so that also continued, you know. And I believe if you speak with the Minister of Trade, he will tell you that he was very grateful for that work that we did. And by the time we rolled out our second survey, we realized that everybody else had jumped on the bandwagon and had also started rolling out similar surveys. And our 2020 survey report, which we are just about issuing now, also focused on additional questions around the impact of COVID-19. And that survey we ran from September to December. And so once we issue that report, we'll send you a copy and you can see for yourself. We also asked respondents what they knew about the African Continental Free Trade Agreement and were they going to be able to take advantage of it. So like I said, we only started this in 2019 and it's something that we intend to continue as part of our advocacy work. And there's the UK Ghana Business Council, which is a government-to-government bilateral setup, and we provide some of these reports, or we provide all of these reports to the members of the council. It's chaired by the Vice President of Ghana and then the UK Minister for Africa as co-chairs. And they found our reports to be very useful. So I believe we are geared, or we are well positioned to do a lot more advocacy work through the engagements that we do with businesses that engage with us. And then the third plank of our work is trade services, which involves providing support to UK businesses looking to do business in Ghana, and also for Ghanaian businesses looking to do business in the UK. Pre-pandemic, we used to host trade missions from the UK to Ghana. We used to host trade missions from Ghana to the UK. And we were doing quite well with that, We still haven't found a good way to host these virtual trade missions, but we are working on it. We'll get there, so that it's not a completely forgotten or lost art, because as we can tell, not much has changed, We still have to continue to operate in a virtual environment. And therefore, currently, a lot of the work we do in that regard is more about reference checks and some basic due diligence that sometimes companies will reach out to us and say that maybe they're trying to do business with a Ghanaian business and they just want to confirm that it's a legitimate business and their directors or the owners are who they say they are, So we do a lot of that. And then sometimes UK companies or Ghanaian businesses will approach us to find out what the size of opportunity there is either in the UK or in Ghana for the businesses that they are interested in undertaking. Yes. We are an NGO, so we are not for profit, but we still have running costs. So even though I talk so nicely about these services that we provide, not all of them are free because we have to pay for our overheads, But we don't really charge a lot because, like I said, we are not for profit, so we are not looking to make profits. It's just to cover our costs, So I tell businesses when they engage with us that if you're a member company, you get a lot of these services for free, So there's merits in being a member and joining our chamber. Yes.
So you mentioned something that I find quite interesting. UK businesses looking for business opportunities here in Ghana and vice versa. What has been the trend so far? Do we see more Ghanaian businesses looking to break into the UK market, or more UK businesses looking to break into the
with Ghanaian
market?
businesses looking for business in the UK, there's a lot of avenues for them to achieve the same objective. So, of course, you are here in Ghana, you can engage with the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, for example, So typically, most Ghanaian businesses looking to do business in the UK may not come to us, But then again, we've only been in existence since 2016, so perhaps we need to step up public campaigns to create awareness about what we do. And therefore, we don't really get that many Ghanaian businesses approaching us. But that's not to say that they aren't, because like I said, there are state institutions that support Ghanaian businesses with that. The converse is true, however, for UK businesses looking to do business in Ghana, because we work closely with the British High Commission. So UK businesses would typically approach the UK's Department of International Trade at the British High Commission here in Accra. And because we are a delivery partner for them, you know, what then happens is that sometimes we deliver on some of the work with DIT, you know, and so that is why we would know more about the UK businesses coming into Ghana. Yes. We were actually, our establishment was actually supported by DIT.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Let's take a look at youth in exports in the country. I mean, the future of every country is the youth. What do you think about this concept? I mean, the concept of us encouraging more youth to go into exports in Ghana.
I believe that it's a wonderful idea because, you know, Ghanaians are entrepreneurial in nature. We have more self-employed people than we have people that are employed in formal establishments. And one of the things that I have always been passionate about in my work is to support the small and micro businesses to scale up, you know. So we used to, not at the chamber, in my previous life, support entrepreneurship programs with capacity building and with financing. And it's one of the things that at the chamber we hope to do a lot more in the near future, because we know that when business thrives, the economy thrives, you know, and the economy or business will not thrive if they remain at that micro level, you know. A one-man business and it remains a one-man business for its entire lifespan. That won't work, you know. If we create an enabling environment where all these small and micro businesses can scale up, then they can go to the point where they can actually export. So yes, it's a wonderful idea, and it's something that we should be striving towards.
I think we are about wrapping up, but before we go, what are your final words? African Continental Free Trade, its impact on UK-Ghana trade, the new UK trade partnership agreement that has been signed, and UK GCC. What are your final words on all of these topics that we've touched on?
We remain optimistic, and given that there's so much happening at the government-to-government levels, what then happens is that it remains incumbent upon us as the general population to take advantage of the opportunities that these present. So I'm optimistic about the future. The Chamber is optimistic about the future of business in Ghana, and we're looking forward to seeing a growth in bilateral trade between the UK and Ghana, and we're here to champion it.
Right. Thank you very much, Ajuba Chiama. Thank you so much for your time.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome, and thank you also for the opportunity.
You're welcome. And that was Ajuba Chiama. She's the Executive Director of the UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, and she was our guest for today. This week's in-depth segment came to you from the beautiful presidential suite of Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. Come here for all your conferences, your weekend getaway, family reunions, and all of that, and you will not regret it, I promise you. You're still watching International Trade Focus. There's more after this break. Don't go away.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New Gold Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Minister of Trade and Industry Honorable Alan Kyerematen has called for patronage and support for indigenous industries operating in Ghana. According to him, though the country appreciates foreign direct investments, there was no evidence of any country achieving superlative growth without supporting its indigenous industries. The minister made these remarks when he inspected the progress of a $100 million cement repackaging facility near the Tema Terminal 3 port to be commissioned in the coming months. Jata Cement, wholly owned by Ghanaian entrepreneur Ibrahim Mahama, will be managed largely by a Ghanaian management team. The company currently has a 1.2 million metric tons production capacity, scalable to 3 million metric tons. Honorable Alan Kyerematen was impressed with the facility and called for the participation of Ghanaian entrepreneurs in industrial sectors dominated by foreign companies.
You know, this industry is dominated by global foreign companies. And that's the way it is globally, all over the world. So this is the first investment in the cement industry which is wholly Ghanaian owned. And I think that alone is very significant. Yes, as a government, we very much understand and appreciate the importance of foreign investment capital. But there's no evidence of any country anywhere in the world that has been able to achieve superlative growth without supporting their own indigenous entrepreneurs. And that is why I think that this particular investment is something that should pave the way for investments in industries that otherwise have been dominated only by foreign companies. So kudos to you. Secondly, going around the plant. You know, today when I was coming, I was wondering, well, you should not put on anything that might, create a problem for you. Since I have other meetings going, let me wear something dark. Now I step here, it's almost like a food packaging factory. No evidence of dust, nothing. And now I understand that this is indeed an eco-friendly cement plant. And so it shows you that it's not just the fact that this is an indigenous entrepreneur doing this, but that he's taking the trouble to invest in the state-of-the-art technology, which also is important for us as a developing country. But it goes beyond these 2 points. This is going to create high-skilled jobs for Ghanaians.
As a measure to protect the domestic cement industry against the importation of Portland cement, the government passed the Export and Import Regulation 2016 LI 2240 to restrict the importation of Portland cement outside the ECOWAS. Jata Cement has the permit from the ministry to import Portland cement to run the company in its first stage of production. Recently, the country had experienced some hikes in cement prices, which some marketers blamed on the increased global freight affecting clinker prices, a key ingredient in cement manufacturing. The minister encouraged the management of the new company to consider using local raw materials as substitutes for its imported raw materials.
The initial phase, which is a bagging plant, is only meant to open the way for something greater to come. And I understand from the management team that the second, third phases would also actually result in the installation of a grinding plant. So in this regard, Sir Ibrahim and your colleagues, I would like to encourage you, once you get to that level, to be able to explore opportunities using local raw materials, not to completely substitute for clinker, but then it will complement whatever you are importing into the country.
According to data from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, there are currently 11 cement plants already producing in the country. This comprises 9 grinding plants, 1 integrated plant, and 1 baggaging plant. Jata Cement is an emerging company in this market. The company will produce 42.5R grade cement for the first year of production, but projects to produce other higher grade cement soon. The factory boasts of being an eco-friendly company in comparison. The managing director of the company, Mr. Philip Archer, believes the entrance of Jata Cement will contribute to stabilizing the cement prices in the country.
There are so many plants, and for this particular phase, 1.2 million tons capacity. Very soon we'll double this capacity, and that is only for the bag segment. If we add selling directly to project side, the capacity in the next few years will be 3 million tons. And by far, our vision is to make sure that we become number 1 in this country in the next few years. And then we are going to work assiduously towards that, and then also solicit the support of government. And for us, we are very, very delighted to even have the minister visiting us, even though we have not started the operation fully.
International shipping container freight charges have seen a sharp increase amid an export boom post-COVID-19 pandemic. The freight index caused by Shanghai Shipping Exchange climbed by 2,048.27 last week, which was over twice the figure of 855.34 in April. Some industry watchers say the imbalances between the rising demands of exporters and the tight supply of containers is causing the worldwide challenge. Freight rates between Shanghai and UK rose nearly 4 times between March and November last year, while rates from Shanghai to Los Angeles more than tripled. The cost of shipping goods from China to Europe has seen increases by up to 700% in recent weeks, resulting in shortage of shipping containers. For instance, at the beginning of 2020, it cost around $2,000 to ship a container from China to Europe. However, some companies are quoting up to $14,000 currently. Ghanaian importers are also feeling the brunt of these price hikes. Sources from the Ghana Union of Traders Association report paying astronomical prices as freight charges.
Are you an importer or exporter? Do you need quick financing at the best rate on the market? ADB has good news for you. Walk into any agricultural development bank location nationwide for that solution to all your trade financing needs. ADB offers you pre-financing of exports and imports, post-shipment credit facilities, bank guarantees, the issuance and acceptance of letters of credit, documentary bills for collection, outward documentary collection. Enjoy free advisory services from our well-trained, dedicated trade officers. Exporters of agricultural products are encouraged to take advantage of this great service. For further enquiries, call us on 0302 210 210. ADB, making trade finance easy. ADB, truly agric and more.
And it's a wrap for today's edition of International Trade Focus. Join us same time next week for some more on international trade-related activities here in Ghana and beyond. International Trade Focus is brought to you by Gold Good Energy, ADB, Truly Agric and more, and Pediatric Valley Resorts. Public Elegance provided me with this lovely outfit. My name is Anna Spio. Join us same time next week. Bye-bye.